What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel's Just Saying. Tonight we're talking about the Real Housewives of New York City, season number 7, episode number 8, right? So I'm cracking out because my husband was just sitting here doing some pull-ups, making this. Why do men always have to make that noise when they work out? I'm like, let's make all these noises. Anyways. He was right here in the doorway doing pull-ups. Anyway, so this episode starts off with Ramona and Dorinda. They're having lunch somewhere, I don't know where. It was kind of weird because Ramona was like on her phone and she was doing something, and like Dorinda had came in and said hi to her, but it's like she kept like doing something on her phone, and then she finally looked up like she was surprised to see Dorinda. I'm like, girl, please, you know you heard Dorinda say hi. You just wanted to finish up what you were doing before you acknowledged that she had, came over to the table. But anyway, so they just kind of sit down and chit chat a little bit. I don't remember what Dorinda was talking about really, but Ramona was saying that Mario has been saying that he wants to come home and he wants to try to make it work or whatever. She was like, now that I'm not, crying and I've kind of moved on a little bit, now he wants to come back. She's like, I can't believe I got to play these little silly games 30 years later, because they were married for like 20 years or something like that, and I'm sure they were together a few years before that, and she's just like, I don't even want to play this game with him, But she's saying she's not sure. Dorinda's like, well, how do you feel about it? When you see him, how do you feel when you see him, And she's just like, I don't know. She just really doesn't want to talk about it. But she's just like, I'm so happy that he made up with Avery and things are good with that because, Avery is their daughter. It's like their only child. And she's off her way at college or whatever, but I guess she kind of, felt some type of way about her dad cheating and leaving, they're breaking up the family the way he did because, y'all know the story, right? He was bogus with it. He was cheating on her first. That's bogus. Then he leaves her for the chick. Then he says he's like gonna come back, and then but he's still messing with the chick, and like now he's like gone with her. Now he wants to come back. Like, really, dude? Man. Anyways, everything is about them, right? Anyways, so she's just saying she's just happy that Avery is, has made peace with everything, and that she's, has a relationship with her father again, because that's really what's most important is the father-daughter relationship, the mother-daughter relationship. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the husband and wife relationship. That relationship is important, but if it's not working, it's not working. But, you always have to fix your relationship with your children, or you should always try to fix your relationship with your children or with your parents or whatever. So anyways, moving on. The next thing we see Carol, she is, she's like, I didn't really understand what was going on at first. I'm like thinking like, is she like presenting this ideas for her book? But then like Heather and Luann were there. And Ramona, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Anyways, Heather and Ramona are there. So she's got like, I guess she's running to be on the board of her apartment building that she lives in, because I guess in New York, they have boards instead of like, I guess like owners or whatever that kind of take care of everything for the building. So she's running for board to get a seat on the board for her building or whatever. And I'm just like, she got this round table full of people. Like, she's like, the president of the United States or something. She's got like a campaign manager. She has like a social network person. You know what I mean? Like, she is like serious about it. She got her she got her whiteboard. She jotting down notes and you know what I mean? Like, she was very serious. And I guess that's good. Whatever you're gonna do, you should go and do it all 100%. So, and that's what she seems to be doing. But then, so her campaign manager is like, okay, so we need to know, is there anything negative that could be said about you by anyone that lives in this building or whatever? And she's like, well, there was this one time where I came home at like 4 in the morning. Didn't have my keys, and I had to call the fire department, and they came. They had to break in the door. The door was kind of broken a little bit, but I paid for it, and they tried to make me pay more, and I wasn't having it. So yeah, there's that. And Ramona in her little interview was just like, oh, no, she's not going to get elected. Anyway, so yeah, that was kind of that scene. It was kind of cool. So we'll see later in the episode what happens with that. And then you see in the next scene, Bethany going to see her therapist. Now, Bethany is just stressed the fuck out, okay? Bethany is like, if you thought Bethany's emotions were like on 10 when she was on the show before with all of her, I mean, she was just like up and down all over the place. I mean, she is like on 10,000 right now. You know what I mean? Like, her emotions are everywhere. So she goes to see her therapist or whatever, and she's like, you know, I saw John, which is her stepdad, and so he's asking her, you know, how that was or whatever, and she was just like, you know, we finally had the conversation that I had been trying to have or whatever. So her therapist is just trying to get her, you know, is asking her like, well, how did you feel about that? How do you feel about the conversations that you guys had? How did you feel about, you know, and she's like, it doesn't matter how I feel, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, it is what it is. It's just my experience, you know what I mean? It's just part of who I am. And then she's like, and that's just kind of who he is. It's like, it's not anything that he's distraught over or anything. It's just, you know, a part of his past or whatever. And the therapist is like, no, I need you to understand that it's not just a part of your past. You need to address your feelings and how you were feeling in that moment, and how you're feeling now about the situations that took place in your childhood, because believe it or not, it's affecting your relationships today. It affects the way you trust people. It affects the way you communicate with people and things like that. And she just starts talking about, you know, of course, I think I talked on my other blog about her mother committing suicide, trying to commit suicide right in front of her. And she's like told a story about like her stepdad, like, got their mom like with a telephone, like one of those, like, you know, remember those old rotary like hook like telephones that kind of rounded like that, I guess, and like Gaslight was beating her with it and then drug her down the stairs and like, you know, all kind of stuff or whatever. And her therapist is like, okay, you went through that's affecting you today. You need to understand how you were feeling then and understand how you feel about it now, so that you can kind of, you know what I mean, move on or whatever. And she, of course, she just starts crying, and at first she was like yelling at him, but then she kind of calmed down a little bit, and I think she understood what he was trying to say. So we shall see how that all plays out. You see in the next scene, Sonia being Sonia. So she's throwing a party. Her Sonia in the City company is throwing a party for her to, celebrate the fact that she was on the cover of Latino Show magazine. Now, I'm trying to figure out, why is she on the cover of Latino Show magazine? Because she's the whitest of the white girls, right? She's like blonde hair, blue-eyed girl next door. She is not Latino in any kind of way. So why is she on the cover of this magazine? I don't know. Maybe because she's a real housewife, I guess. I don't know. She said that, you know, she has a huge Latino fan base, and, you know, it just came out. But I mean, the pictures in the magazine were gorgeous. And she had on one of her dresses from her collection on in the photo shoot as well, and she had the same dress on that night at the party or whatever. So you know what I'm saying, like, Kristen is like, oh my god, you got your dress, wow, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see your dress, oh my god, it's like so cool, I'm so happy for you, when are you launching, you know what I mean? So then you know, you just see Sonia like taking pictures of everybody. Then you see like all the ladies huddled, not all of them, but I think it was like, of course, Heather, she always got her little 2 cents, and Kristen were talking, and then there was another lady that I'm not really sure who it was. I guess it's just a friend of Sonia's. And she was just saying, like, because, like, Kristen was talking about, like, how she liked the dress and how, and Dorinda was there as well. And, like, you know, she's got all this stuff. And then the other chick was like, have you seen her jewelry? I like her jewelry. It looks really nice. And Dorinda's like, oh, well, I guess she pulled the hat up out the bag, didn't she? I mean, the hat up out the bag. She pulled the rabbit out the hat. I don't even know what I was talking about, the hat out the bag. But, she was like, yeah, she put the rabbit out the hat, didn't she? Or whatever. I just don't understand why these ladies just love. It just seems like they live just to, you know what I'm saying, just to diss Sonya. Like, why do they treat her like that? And I mean, even if she is delusional, even if she doesn't have all this stuff going on, I mean, whatever. Like, do you really have to talk about her all the time, season after season, day after day? Like, talk about her all the time. You know what I mean? Just accept that she is who she is. Take what she says with a grain of salt and keep it moving. Like, you don't always have to huddle around and then go over to her and pretend like you're like so concerned about her. Heather, okay? You're not Heather. You know what I mean? Like, they all talk about her, but I feel like Heather, to me, is the most condescending. Heather and Kristen a little bit are kind of condescending towards her, but Heather more so than Kristen, definitely. You know, we really don't see much of Kristen too often, and I kind of sort of forget that she's on the show a lot. I did last season too, and this season I thought she would have more of a presence, you know, but you know, no. Actually, I think she had more of a presence last season. But I mean, we're only on episode 8, but I mean, we're about halfway through the season, so I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so it just seems like, I'm just like, y'all leave the girl alone. Leave the girl alone. She's doing something, you know what I'm saying? She's living and she's surviving, and you know what I'm saying? Just try to support her, and if you don't believe anything she says, just don't believe anything she says. You don't have to discuss it and just, like, you know, put her down all the time. Anyways, so then you see like Dorinda, Ramona, and Bethany talking, and Bethany's asking her about, you know, asking Ramona about her sports bar that she just opened with a partner. And, you know, asking her about the food and what kind of food do they serve or whatever. And she's like, yeah, they serve really good food. He makes like homemade pasta. And, you know what I'm saying, he makes this fish dish. Oh my God, I had to take Mario some dinner. And so I like took him this fish or whatever. So Dorinda and Bethany is like, roll that one back real fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you just say that you just take Mario some food? Don't try to gloss over that, you know. And then Ramona's like, well, yeah, I took some food. And then, you know, the salmon is really good, you know. Like, clearly she did not want to discuss it, you know what I'm saying? I think it was kind of like just a slip of the tongue that she even let that little information out that she took him dinner, you know what I mean? Like, because I get the feeling that she does not really want to discuss it. You know, she's open, but at the same time she's not. And she probably doesn't even understand her feelings, you know what I'm saying? She probably doesn't even know what to feel and how to you know, and how to just navigate with everything that's happened. You know what I mean? She was with that man for a very long time, okay? You know, a very long time. And it was like, you know, her whole world is turned upside down. So I can only imagine. And this stuff is like new. Like, she's going through it right now on the show. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, she probably doesn't know how to feel, and she just doesn't want to talk to other people about it yet. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So they were just like, girl, what? What did you just say? But anyway, so that was kind of the party. Not much else went on, I don't think, at the party. And then you see in the next scene, they're having another party at Carol's house. Carol invited the ladies over, and some of her friends over, because it's election day in her building, and she's waiting to get her results to see if she won won one of the seats to be on her building board or whatever. So her friend is like there, and she's like, remember, I don't remember her friend name, but anyway, she's talking to the girl. She's like, remember about 2 years ago when you bought me this box of pig and blankets? It's been in my freezer all this time, so I think I'm gonna cook it, right? And I'm like, are you serious? First of all, her kitchen's like this big. Like, she took a lot of her kitchen out to expand her apartment when she did like her big renovation a couple seasons ago. So her kitchen's like this big. Her refrigerator, she just has one of those refrigerators that you would probably have in college. You know, it does have like a kind of sort of real freezer, but it's like, oh, it's like so like tiny and compact or whatever. It's very strange. So she warms up these little pig in the blankets, and when Bethany gets there, Bethany's like, oh my God, these are so good. These are so good. So she does tell Bethany, like, well, they've been in my freezer for like a couple of years or whatever. And, you know, Bethany's like, that's okay. I'm still eating them. They're good. I freeze everything too. But who has something in their freezer for 2 years? I mean, really? I mean, Well, I don't know. Well, not food. And I don't think I would keep something in my freezer for 2 years and then serve it to someone. Yeah, that's hilarious to me. That is so funny. It's like, it's so funny to me that she is the age that she is. I think she's like 42 or something. And she lives like, you know, like a college student almost. You know, she parties all night. She sleeps during the day. She doesn't want to do her job. Like, she's a writer and they're like on her to get this book written, and she's like dragging her feet about that. Like, she's really living life kind of like she's back in college, which makes me think she was kind of serious, because I know she was on like CBS or something like that news for like 15 years. She was like a journalist or whatever, so maybe she just was like really, really serious in the beginning of her life, and now she's like, you know, trying to sow her oats or something. I don't know. I don't know, but it just is always so funny to me, just to see Carol and hear her tales. Anyways, so Bethany I said Bethany was there already, and Bethany has to leave is what I was about to say. As all the ladies are coming in, and like when what's her name, Kristen gets there, Bethany's like, oh my gosh, she's probably gonna think that it's about her, and I always have to leave when she gets here, but I have to go. You know, because, you know, Luann had that talk with Bethany last week about, or the week before, one of them, about her, you know, some of the ladies are thinking that she's just not making an effort to get to know them or whatever. So, you know, she came by the party, even though she had to leave early. But before she left, she was able to hear that Carol won. Carol won the board seat in her building, so that was kind of exciting. I'm like, girl, you won because you was a housewife. That's why. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But congratulations to Carol for winning the board seat. I'm sure she'll be great at the job. And then you see, like, still at Carol's house, you see Kristen takes Sonia to the side and, like, apologizes to Sonia. You know, basically saying, like, I'm just sorry that I've been treating you the way I've been treating you as far as, like, your businesses, and not believing you and making it seem like you didn't know what you were talking about, like you were crazy. You know, she just apologized. And I thought that was very grown up of her, you know, to apologize, because, you know, and hopefully she means her apology. But, you know, you never know if somebody means their apology until you see it. Like I said, well, I don't know if you guys watch my blog. I don't know, like, if my New York City Housewives viewers watch my If Loving You Is Wrong blogs, but in the blog that I posted earlier today from If Loving You Is Wrong, I was just saying, like, you can't just say that you're sorry. You have to show that you're sorry. You know what I mean? Like, there's saying the words and being sincere, but then there's your actions after it. Because if your actions don't back up your words, then it doesn't even matter, right? Your words don't matter. It's like, you're sorry for what, you know? For what? For just being who you are, an asshole? Anyways, so yeah, that was kind of that, and I thought that was very grown up of Kristen, and I'm glad that she did it. And I'm, you know, Sonia, she's just always happy to hear some praise, so she was happy. Anyway, so then you see Bethany. She invited Carol to go shopping with her. She needs to buy like furniture and different things for her new apartment or whatever. So she brings Carol out, and they're in the little store and they're talking, and Bethany's like, well, I've been told that, you know what I'm saying, some of the ladies think that I'm not as welcoming and you know, trying to open up and be around the group or whatever. And Carol's like, well, yeah, that is the case, and that's what people are thinking, or that's what the word on the street is, okay? And Bethany's just like, you know what, I really want, because I think she's referring to Dorinda's, because Dorinda had invited everyone to go to the Berkshires for her birthday. We'll see that next week in the episode. But anyways, I think that's what Bethany's referring to, because Bethany's like, you know what, this is my weekend with Bryn, and I don't want to go to the Berkshires and then have my daughter in a hotel with a nanny on my weekend, and I'm, you know, hanging out with you ladies, you know. And then she just starts crying and breaking down. She's like, my family, my daughter is so important to me, and, you know what I'm saying, with the situation that I'm in, I don't want things, I mean, you know, I don't see her that often. You know, I get her half of the time, and, you know what I'm saying, get her every other weekend, you know what I'm saying. If it wasn't my weekend, I would be there, you know what I mean. Like, so she just starts breaking down, and Carol's just looking at her like, bitch, you need a hug. Because I don't do hugs. So if you need a hug, you need to go find someone else to talk to. That was kind of how she was, right? And Bethany's just like, you know what? No, I don't need a hug. And Bethany's like, I'm sorry. This is just really strange. It's really random. And so like Carol like goes off and gets like these like little handkerchiefs. And Bethany's like, oh my God, I'm not using this to wipe my tears on. This is like, I have to pay for this, right? You gotta pay for this. I'm not paying for this. And Carol's like, it's only $2. She's like, I don't care. I don't want to pay for this or whatever. So that was kind of funny. And it kind of broke the tension, you know what I'm saying? And kind of lifted Bethany's spirits, it seemed a little bit. So that was that scene. Yeah. I don't know. It's very sad, right? I cannot imagine not being able to see my daughter whenever I wanted to. You know, like, that is something I could never imagine. Like, having to share custody with someone. Like, you know, if my husband and I ever divorced or anything like that. Like, oh my, and not being able to just say my daughter is here sleeping in the house with me tonight, like, every night, unless, you know, I'm on vacation or something. You know, like, yeah, that has to be hard. And I can see why. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, she can't go spend a weekend with you guys because this is the weekend she has with her daughter. She only has 2 weekends out of the month with her daughter. You know, the other 2 weekends she's with her dad, and then half of the week she's with her dad. And you know what I'm saying? It's just not a good situation. So that is what that is. Hold on, let me take a sip. Y'all like my Mika glass? Can y'all read it? It says Mika. Isn't that cute? One of my friends made it for me. Anyways, and the next scene, I think this was the final scene, maybe. Was this the final scene? Yeah, they, and Luann invited all the ladies to this place. I can't think of the name of the restaurant. But anyways, it's like a caviar restaurant. Y'all, I mean, like, really, it's a whole restaurant dedicated to caviar? Who would have thought it? Only in New York. I'm telling you, only in New York, right? That's some rich white people shit. Anyways, okay, caviar, ugh. I'm not eating fish eggs. Like, I eat some stuff. So, yeah, but I don't know. I've tasted it and it's disgusting. So I can say that it's disgusting because I've tasted it, okay? So yeah, no, I will pass. And if you ever want to invite me out to dinner, a damn restaurant that is revolving around caviar is just not the place, okay? Ugh. But everybody seems to love it, and we all know from season 1 that Heather is like obsessed with caviar, you know. And so they're all like, you know, sitting around, everybody shows up. They're, you know, celebrating Dorinda's birthday. And then for some reason, the situation just goes all the way freaking left. I'm not even sure what happened. Like, Dorinda's boyfriend excused himself to go to the bathroom. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, he just went so he can go get the chick's phone number, the waitress that had came in. Because he was looking at her all like googly-eyed or whatever. And then as soon as she walked out the door, he told Dorinda, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Dude, really? And then I think that, I don't know if I was reading into it or whatever, but I feel like, you know, as the conversation was going on after he had left or whatever, I feel like I saw Dorinda like look over kind of in the, like a little uneasy at his empty seat, kind of like, well, where the fuck is he? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It might have just been in my mind, but I felt like that's what she did. Anyway, so somehow the conversation gets on Ramona, Luann, and Heather's relationship, and they were like, Ramona is just like, you know, you guys are just like, you have like this invisible wall up against me of, you know, saying like you don't really want to get to know me, and you're very like judgmental towards me or whatever. And she's just like, I just feel like that you were never sincere. She's like, Dorinda knows who I am, and I can be, you know, myself, and I can be vulnerable with Dorinda because she knows who I am, and I always feel like she's sincere. She's like, I just don't feel like you two are sincere or whatever. So then, of course, this upsets Heather, and it upsets Luann, and then Heather's like, look, I was just trying to tell you, we didn't get off on a good foot, but I see a change in you or whatever now. And Luann was saying the same thing, like, I just see a change in you, and she's like, no, I am the same person. And so then she gets up and she walks over to Dorinda or whatever, like, look, Dorinda's my friend, like, you know, basically trying to like end the conversation or whatever and move it along. So that's why, you know, she got up and went over there. But then of course, Luann, being Luann, she knows how to throw those digs. Oh, I wish I was as skilled at being as shady as her without being so obvious that I'm being shady. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she can throw it in there, right? So she was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, speaking of that, Dorinda called me up last night crying about some stuff that you had said. You know what I'm saying? And Dorinda's like, no, wait. And Dorinda's trying to, like, you know, try to squash it or whatever. So then they're like going back and forth about the fact that I guess Ramona and Luann had a conversation about John and Dorinda, about their relationship, which I said last week. I don't understand why Ramona is just so interested in this dang relationship. Anyway, so I guess Luann and Ramona had a conversation, and Luann was under the impression that the conversation was going to stay between the two of them. But then Ramona went back and told Dorinda about the conversation, and not only did she tell Dorinda about the conversation, she tried to put everything on Luann and say that it was Luann that was saying all of this stuff. And even Dorinda wasn't buying that part of it, because she even said in her interview, like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like Ramona was using Luann as a scapegoat or whatever, you know. And so Luann's just like, you know what, Ramona, the stuff that you told her was not true. It's stuff that I didn't say. Like, a conversation did take place, but the stuff that you said is not, you know, it wasn't the truth or whatever. So they kind of keep going back and forth about that. And Luann is just basically like, I just can't trust you. I thought I could trust you, and I just can't trust you. Like, I thought we were, excuse me. She's like, I thought we were in a better place, and I just can't trust you or whatever. And Dorinda's just like, oh my God, it's my birthday. And then at this time, John had came back, and you know, he's like, do you guys want to address me? What's going on? And she's like, no, we don't need to address you or whatever. And that's kind of how it ended. And I'm like, well, happy motherfucking birthday, Dorinda. Like, it just seemed like, and I get what she's like saying. Like, I remember she's like, when they went to the Hamptons, like, I just want to have like a relaxing weekend and get to know the ladies. And then they went to dinner with like Bethany, Carol, and Heather, when Bethany told Heather she was like the plus one, and then they are all like having this deep discussion. Like, poor Dorinda, she's just like, I just want to go out and have a good time. These bitches is talking about my man. They just ruining my good time and left and right. Can't have fun with them when I'm alone. Can't bring my man around them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just, I don't even know what's going on. But anyways, that's it. That's all for this episode. But next week, I guess they're all going to go to Dorinda's house in the Berkshires. Her house looks really, really nice. And I'm looking forward to the episode because, of course, some more drama goes down or whatever. So we shall see what happens on that next week. Did you guys watch What Happens Live that came on afterwards, where Bethany was interviewing Andy Cohen? I thought that was interesting. I might talk about that some other time, but I'm tired, so I'm not going to talk about it tonight. Anyways, and I need to go tuck my daughter in. It's almost 9 o'clock. So yeah, that's it. That's all for me tonight. Until next time, stay real, stay safe. Oh, no. You guys, please subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this video, just go ahead right now. Click subscribe. That's all you gotta do. It won't even pause the video. Just click subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it, all right? And with that, I will say, stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel Is Just Saying. Bye-bye.